Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Good morning, Nicole. Good morning, Mara, Jacob, Annette. Welcome back to Tucson. Hopefully, your trip to Ohio was awesome.
Good morning.
Gracias, amigo. The trip was nice. Thank you.
Good. How's everyone's morning? That good, huh?
Well, we're still here, sort of.
What's that?
We're still here, sort of.
Sort of. Kind of a low turnout. I got no cameras. Thank you, Miss Mara, for letting me see somebody.
May not be pretty, but hey, here we are.
You know what? I never thought otherwise. It's always a blessing to have you with us. Well, yesterday was a good time. I enjoyed the way that worked out. Did you guys like that?
Yeah, the questions yesterday were good.
The randomly. I think we're going to do that more often, like today again, because I have more of them. Sarah, that looked like it was painful.
Dude, this is like a problem every freaking time. Every time. I love these sunglasses so much, but damn it.
I love the mornings because of the things that we see that people don't realize that we see. It's like, this is great.
There she goes. Now she looks cool again.
There we go. Good morning, Miss Sarah. Anyone having anything interesting happen to them this week so far that we can put into the group and then have a script around?
Some guy told me to go fuck myself.
Oh.
Well, we can censor the superlative on the call.
Oh yeah, this is recorded. I forgot.
Yeah.
All right. He told me to go frick myself.
Well, if somebody has the audacity to say those kinds of things, they're probably in a bad mindset or a bad mood, or maybe they just got annoyed by people knocking on their door. Let it roll off your back like a duck.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I could ever give, is just kind of like, all right, man, have a nice day.
Yeah. And then there was this one other guy. He told me that his daughter was a Keller Williams agent in Phoenix. So I said, oh, great. If I ever get a buyer that wants to move to Phoenix, I can send them her way. And he's like, no, I don't want to give you her information. I was like, oh, well, I'll give you a sheet and it has all my information on it. And you can give it to her. And he's like, no, I'll just leave it where it is. And I was like, oh, okay. It was just so awkward.
Yeah, did you get his name or her name?
No, he wouldn't give it to me.
That's okay.
So I just gave him a sheet.
All right. Yeah. All you can do is, you're not looking for everyone to be super open and inviting and welcoming to you, knocking on their door and talking to them. You're just looking for the one person that gives you some information you can utilize. Door knocking is never a single event. It's something you got to do over and over and over again, just to create repetition. And you're going to find out when you have a reason to door knock, it's a whole lot easier than just going and meeting people.
Yeah. The third time I went, I got yelled at by one couple that said that they were realtors and I shouldn't be soliciting in the neighborhood, and they were grouchy. But otherwise, people were pretty nice when I've gone.
Well, did you find out what brokers they work with?
No. I mean, they kind of slammed the door in my face like, well, we're realtors too, and you shouldn't be soliciting the neighborhood.
They're upset that you're doing it and they aren't.
Yeah, that's what somebody else said.
That's exactly why. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
So Dan, I'm still reticent to do that in neighborhoods where, there are the no soliciting signs, but being the person I am, I did research it, and I don't know if we could say this to someone like that, but we have a constitutional right to go and do, what we want, where we want. So,
well, I researched it, and it said in my area that I was doing it, that if they had a no soliciting on their door by the doorbell, you shouldn't be going and you could quote unquote get in trouble. But otherwise, the police weren't going to do anything if they didn't have it on each and every door.
And unless it's a gated community, is my understanding. Is that correct?
I don't know.
What was that?
I mean,
Said gated communities are more secure, so you usually can't get into them. You're not supposed to be doing. They're not public access.
Yeah.
Private communities. My gray zone on that is, if somebody wants to get mad and upset with you, just be kind and courteous, and thank them for their time. Just excuse the disruption and go on about your day.
Yeah.
Dick
I
says
still
it all the
feel
time. If even 1% of the people you know do business with you, you'll have a phenomenal career. So if you knock on 100 doors and you get one person to at least remember your name and say something to you in the future, then great. Then it was successful.
I always tell people that if I can talk to God this morning, why can't I talk to you?
There you go.
Then they get mad and they throw me out.
That's a nice one.
So the door knocking, it's all in how you approach it. So we can do that this morning. I want to hear somebody's door knocking pitch when you're at the door. You can door knock for an open house. You can door knock for a listing down the street, right? Samantha, what do you do? Do you do door knocking?
I do.
Okay. How do you approach it?
Hey, this is a great area. I'm sure you've heard super low inventory, very high interest in this area. We have a lot of buyers that are looking. Are you, or do you know someone else in the neighborhood that might be willing to sell for the right price?
No, not really.
All right, thanks. Well, definitely keep me in mind. Here's a free market report about what's going on in your neighborhood in case you do think of it in the future or you know someone who might be.
Okay, thank you.
All right, awesome. You have a great day.
Door shut. Is that how they usually go?
Yes, and then if I have someone who's even the least bit like, oh, we're maybe thinking about it, then I put them on a rotation and I do pop-ins, usually bring something by. Didn't want anything, just a social call, just hey, looking to see if you guys made a decision, make some conversation, keep going back.
So are you saying that the fortune that you've made has been from the follow-up you've done?
I don't know if it's fortune, but I have one that actually is going to potentially turn into an off-market deal, which was sort of like, hey, when you have a buyer, you come see me. Well, I have one now, so I'm gonna go back and see him today. But I do believe it's in the follow-up. It's not, I don't go out with the intention that something's gonna shake that day, but I'm looking for people who are thinking about it.
That's awesome. It's planting those seeds, right? The Johnny Appleseed method. The more seeds you plant, the more trees it'll grow.
Yeah, and I just bring them donuts. And then a lot of times, like it's a really good donut place, I'll just call and be like, where'd you get those? Oh, it's this place. And you've got conversation, so.
I like it. Anyone else got some experience in door knocking, or would you like to give it a run just to get yourself comfortable doing so? Or
Just another quick tip is if they're nice at all, and you think, that they might be an ally in the future, if you just jot down their house number, the street, the address, you can obviously look up their name on the assessor site, send them a card, say, hey, I really enjoyed talking with you, the other day kind of thing. So just one way to be, following up.
Mara, you just made me think
on
of
what
it.
site?
Go ahead, Samantha first.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if anyone uses HomeSnap at all, they have like a heat map that'll tell you what properties are most likely, 5 or more years they've been occupied, so they may be more motivated. So you can also use those heat maps to kind of guide you. I personally don't, but I know other agents who do, and it might be helpful.
Title will do that for us too, right? They'll run a report on.
And they'll tell you which ones are renters, and if anyone's Trio certified, I use lease to own script with them. Like, hey, if you're wanting to make a gentle transition, and so Trio goes down to 580, sometimes 550. So you can use that script with them as well.
If I could just share a thought, this is spurring up my creativity here, I guess. One of the reasons why I do not do door knocking is that I'm such a big guy that sometimes when somebody my size knocks on your door and you don't know who he is, it may be somewhat threatening. So when I've done it in the past, I've always worn my name badge on it so they know who I am. And I'm thinking as we're all talking that my approach would be, you know, good day, my name is Dick Nichols. I'm with Keller Williams Southern Arizona Realty. I'm a realtor here covering this neighborhood. And my granddad told me once that when opportunity knocks on your door, sometimes you should listen. And I had him maybe a sheet showing we got a listing in this neighborhood and you may know someone, a friend, a family member who'd like to live in this beautiful neighborhood. Would you please take this? And if you know someone, give them a call or have them call me. And that I think is a very, not a threatening, thing, but it talks about opportunity knocking on the door, and that's why you're there.
Dick's actually right. Like, I don't door knock personally because of my stature.
You're Big Dan.
Yeah. What I do, however, is when my team goes, I go and support, and I'm like the hub. They come back or even just call me and say, hey, this is what I saw. This is what I got. What do I do? And then we retool for the next door. I have had women literally shriek when they open the door because myself and my teammate Raul, who's also 6'4" and 300 pounds, a very large athletic man, and they open the door and I could not tell you without a more sincerity that Raul is the nicest gentleman I've ever met in my life. He's a giant teddy bear, but he looks terrifying. Even from a distance, you're like, that's a big man. And the two of us standing there. So that's when I learned if I go door knocking, I take a female with me. And she knocks on the door and I stand back and look like a bouncer. But it's always about knocking on the door and taking a step back, relieving that pressure of distance so they can see you. I will tell you that when you have a name tag on, diffusing, because they can tell you're a realtor and they know who you are, don't be super dressed up. If you have a polo and some jeans and some Nikes, you're going to get a lot more activity if you go out with the dress shirt and ties. So especially know the community you're walking in. If you're going to go door knock my neighborhood, flip-flops and shorts going to get you a lot more further than dress pants and dress shirts.
And one other suggestion, don't wear a leather vest and a cowboy hat and boots and say, well, listen here, Pilgrim. They'll throw your butt off the porch.
Some neighborhoods, they're good. And then Nicole, you got the link in the chat. I don't know if you can get it.
It occurred to me she's on her phone. She probably can't. But yeah, if you want to tell her. It's the Pima County Assessor site, and there's a parcel search area. Yeah. I did put it in the notes, but she may not be able to get it.
Yeah, Pima County Assessor. Just Google Pima County Assessor. It's really neat. You can look up information based on address. You can look up people's addresses by their last name if they own a house.
Got it.
So.
I got a question though, quick for you guys, please. And I know we already had this conversation once before, but I'm probably paranoid. If you get a list from title for a zip code for a bulk mailing or calling cold call, you have to check the number on the do not call list before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we still don't have that list though, or how do we get that do not call list?
As an independent contractor, you get your own list. Teresa shared a list with us that will be uploaded into the PC drive.
Okay.
If it's not already uploaded, but.
You could all get a coffee mug made saying, I'm not afraid to show my mug around here, and walk up to the door with a cup of coffee and say, I'm not afraid to show my mug around here, and an opportunity's knocking. I've got a great house down here. Would you be interested in buying it? And they say no. Do you know anyone else who might be interested in buying it? But have fun with it.
That's good.
If you don't have a house for sale, or if you're not working with an agent that's doing an open house or something like that, and you want to go door knock for prospecting, I don't know if this is the majority, but I live in a neighborhood, and I think you live in a neighborhood, and if you're anything like me, you don't know all your neighbors. We've talked about this before. Who do you need to know in the neighborhood?
Everybody.
The one who
Nice
knows
to know everybody, but you don't. Who's that, Mara?
the one who knows it all.
The one who knows it all. You guys heard me talk about that. The nosy cat, Kathy. Jason Thompson, are you on the call? I see your face. I don't know what he's doing, but he may just be listening in. The nosy Kathy, the Carl of the neighborhood, the guy that knows everything, everybody, the lady that knows everything and everybody. She's up in your business. She's asking very personal questions all the time. You're like, listen, leave me alone. Trust me, that lady or that gentleman in your neighborhood needs to be your friend. They gonna know when the Joneses want to sell their house well before the Joneses want to sell their house. And it's the true story. And I bring Jason into the conversation because I happen to know that Jason is that guy in his neighborhood. And it's awesome. Not that he asks impersonal questions or he's intrusive, but his character and the way he handles himself with his neighbors is extremely friendly, inviting. He's always giving food and desserts and bringing people together. It's just his nature. So real estate was a natural progression for him. When he met the people in his community, he created community guidance. He created, a community hub around him where he knows people. He knows what's going on. And the story I told is I pulled up because I'm helping him do a listing out there. And I just pulled in and there's a truck in the driveway next door to the house that we were looking at, or 2 doors down, sorry, that was lifted. It looked just like mine, but lifted. And I said, oh, that looks really nice. And then Jason's like, oh, that guy hates it. He bought it like that. The turn radius sucks. He wants to get rid of it. But that was just like, he knew those details about that guy at that level. Do you think that anyone else is going to be able to steal real estate business away from him?
No.
So if I weren't partnered with Jason and Jason was just a neighbor, I would make sure that Jason and I were really good friends. And I would do like Samantha said, I would do the pop buys. I'd bring donuts. I don't eat donuts, so I don't know where a really good donut place is. I could bring beef jerky. I don't know. I'll bring something, but that would be bringing value and constantly fortifying that relationship. And then you ask that Kathy or that Jason, what have you heard around the neighborhood? Who's been showing signs? Who's been showing signs? Not who wants to, or who do you think wants? Who's been showing signs of wanting to move? My neighbor, half a block away, has been having a garage sale now for a month and a half. Is that a sign of moving? Oh yeah. They don't even put shit away at night. I think they want people to steal it, to get rid of it. It looked like they took everything that wasn't essential out of their house and put it on the driveway. You know how I found out about it? By driving the neighborhood. And I was like, oh shit, look, there's a driveway full of stuff in a garage sale. We stopped and we talked, we made friends. And then the next weekend it was there. And the next weekend it was there. So I drive by every couple of days and the stuff is still out front. So I stopped and I had a conversation with them. Guess what? They're moving.
You know, Dan, that happened to me back in Michigan. I was driving through a neighborhood and I saw people having a garage sale. So I stopped in there and I looked around, I started talking to them, and they had an accordion that they were selling. So I picked up the accordion and played a few songs. And we talked a little further, and they wanted to sell their house. So I listed their house and sold it for $325,000 4 weeks later. And got a referral from them from someone else. So you're right. When you see someone who's doing garage sales and they're all by themselves, stop in there, take a look. Maybe you'll find something to buy. Maybe it'll be a chance to create rapport with somebody. But a lot of realtors don't do that.
Yeah, not very many. I'm gonna give you a Danny Rothism. You guys know who Danny Roth is. He's one of our top agents in Tucson. Danny Roth will go to a garage sale. He'll go trick-or-treating with his kids. He'll go door knocking, whatever. And he walks up with the biggest, cheesiest grin. He goes, nice house. Want to sell it? Sarah's laughing. She understands the instant, like, just nice house. Want to sell it? Does that take some provenance right there? Does that take some brevity? Like, make it quick, get right to the point. Nice house. Want to sell it? And then you start a conversation. and then you just have a conversation. You be human.
So one thing I'm learning about, like I'm actively working on right now, is like, and I can't use, so I'm gonna use the word shirt, calling myself out on my own shirt, in that, you know, I'm gonna do something that it just doesn't feel good, you know, like if I say it out loud, like it just doesn't feel as bad afterwards. Like at least I've admitted to my faults, you know? So I think this is the same thing. You're just like ripping the Band-Aid off immediately. Let's get to the point. You know what I'm here for now. Now we can have fun. Now we can relax. Now we can, you know, move on. I think it's great.
It's how it is. You make fun of it. I have literally walked up in buyer consultations and said, "Great guys, let's go look at houses." Wait, aren't we going to go talk? Oh yeah, we will. We're going to talk first. Or I go in a listing presentation. It's a beautiful home. Let's get it sold. You read the audience, you read your people, but don't be afraid to do that. Same thing with door knocking. Now, hey, I was walking by your house and I loved it. You want to sell it? Okay. Hey, my name is Big Dan Caldwell Keller Williams. I'm doing an open house around the corner next weekend. I'd love if you guys come check it out. If you know anyone that's thinking about moving to this neighborhood, or if you want friends that would live by, help me choose your neighbors. Send them my way. We'll be there at Saturday between 1 and 4. Also, we're going to get a ton of traffic this weekend, so I'm sure that there's going to be some opportunities out there. So if you know anyone showing signs of wanting to sell their house, now's the time to cash out on that equity.
Ever drive by someone's house and maybe they got a Green Bay Packer fan flag out, or a Minnesota Viking flag flying out, or they're trying to tell you things about what they really believe and what they're really excited about. And you stop by and you say, you know, I'm sorry, I had to stop by your house. I noticed the Green Bay Packer flag, and you know, I'm a big Packer fan myself, and I really am. But I thought we need more Green Bay Packer fans here in beautiful Tucson to sort of, you know, pick up the whole city. And I'm a realtor here. Do you know anyone else who's a Green Bay Packer fan? Or do you know anybody who would like to buy a house here and move from Wisconsin to beautiful Tucson, to your neighborhood? Now that's a wild, but it works because you found something that you had in common with them. Now, I have never said that I'm a Detroit Lions fan, because I know that's a bunch of losers. But I'm from Detroit. That's why I moved from Tucson, because both Tucson and Detroit doesn't have a professional football team. Anyway, but find some people, you know, you walk in someone's office and you see things on the wall or on their desk. They want to tell you things about themselves. The Facebook site's the same thing. Many people use their house as the canvas to say who they are. And they're giving you a hint. And you say, you know, I just had to stop by your house because I noticed that you are, one guy even had a Green Bay Packer parking sign, and, you know, reserved for Green Bay Packer fans. I had to stop by and ask us. I've never seen that before.
Did you just leave your car in his driveway?
What?
Did you just leave your car in his driveway?
Oh, I actually sent him a mail, and I created a brochure, one of my trifold brochures, saying I'm looking for some more Green Bay Packer fans to entice to come to Tucson. Do you know any? I followed up with that. Never heard from him, but I had fun doing it.
What do you guys give me these pearls of wisdom? This is goodness. It's simple things.
What's it worth to you to spend 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 10 minutes in coming up with a concept and sending them a little handwritten note and mail it off to them? If they decide, I want to talk to that person a little further, and you sell a $300,000 house, or you help someone buy or move into it, is that worth the effort? Go the extra mile. Make yourself stand out. You know, Big Dan stands out. He overcomes the Catalina Mountains. He's way above them. And when Big Dan's not there, I walk on the door and say, well, would you rather talk to me or talk to Big Dan Caldwell? You know, that's whatever the opening line could be.
They're probably going to pick me.
I've never said that, Dan. Oh, there you go. Speak of the devil.
I'm glad that we have these conversations and talk about it, but the scripting behind door knocking is simple. You have to, and I absolutely want to anchor this home, have to practice before you go out. You got to warm up. do not practice on game day. Do not knock on the first door and then go, shit, what was I going to say? I want it to roll off your tongue like your own name. You will have less doors slammed in your face. You will have less people just pushing you out because you don't seem as robotic. If you embody what you're doing, you're more congruent to it and people will be attracted to it.
You know, you can door knock in Walmart too. Someone walks by and they're wearing a Green Bay Packers sweatshirt or a Minnesota Vikings sweatshirt. You can smile and stop, say, you know, I noticed are you a fan of those people? And they say, yes, I am. I am too. You know, I'm the realtor out here who is probably one of the greatest Green Bay Packer fans around. Or then again, I don't say Detroit Lions, but create that rapport with somebody. Find something that's important to them and mirror what they are like.
Right. So tomorrow we're going to continue on with our number game and picking scripts from a bag, if you will. Any questions on today's topic of door knocking and limited rapport building on what you can see quickly?
I just have one last thing. Even when people are mean to you, because they're getting a lot of calls, right? People are cold calling like crazy. I just say, yeah, it's a really popular area. Tell me what you love about living here. People seem to really love it here. I mean, what do you like about it? And it kind of flips it, and you're just talking about the neighborhood, and you have some insight too.
You know, I heard from a guy many years ago, excellent salesman, who would ask somebody, especially someone who didn't like him or didn't know him, and would walk up to him and say, you know, I've got a problem and I think I need your help. Now, when you ask for help, people think, okay, maybe this person recognizes that I'm a person that could be of guidance or help to them. Yeah, I don't know this area really well. What are the reasons why someone wants to move into this neighborhood? Because my job as a realtor, I think this looks like a beautiful neighborhood, but I need more information. Can you help me? Can you help me? I would say a little bit of a Southern accent. You'd be surprised how many people want to help you. They will help you all the way to the bank.
You're absolutely right. That's one of my favorite lines when I was door knocking. I got an open house around the corner. What can you tell me about this neighborhood? Could you help me with some secrets? What do you love about this neighborhood? What do you hate about this neighborhood?
Would you be willing to come over to the open house and give me your feeling about what this house is? And
I like that. People love giving their opinions. Woo, don't they?
Bring all your nosy neighbors with you. You know, all your nosy family. No,
yeah, Facebook is just German for give me your opinion.
Yes.
That's what it means. If you guys didn't know that. So all types of things to get you into activity, guys. We have these conversations daily so that you will do something with it. You don't go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of ingredients to let them rot in the fridge. Put them together, go out and do something great, and you can have the end result. A lot of people feel like cooking is wasted art because you just spend all this time in preparation, hours to cook and hours to do all this thing to eat. But we don't realize the essentials that are needed, right? If you don't eat, what happens? You die, right? Pretty simple. You don't eat long enough, you gonna die. You gonna get sick and die, period. So my analogy for the day is, what are you cooking up? It doesn't matter how long it takes to make if you get to eat it in the end. So we do all of this activity, all of this, effort to get into production and get agents, moving and door knocking and calling and shaking all this stuff. That's your ingredients. You guys get to go put it together and cook something so you can eat it. So all I ask for you guys today, we are 1 week into this beautiful year. And even though the Capitol is on fire, literally, with the shenanigans of stupid people, I don't condone any of it.
Absolutely.
I want you guys to stay wholeheartedness, come from grace, come from contribution, go out there and spread greatness in the world and touch somebody's heart. And in doing so, make a friend so they know that you are the real estate person that they need to rely on. So all we need to do is grow your database. So happy Wednesday, Thursday, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on Friday.
Bye, Dan.
Thank you.
Bye.